lessons where boundaries dissolve and breakthroughs begin. I'm your host, Saima, and today's guest, Hani Cheng, is not just a transformation facilitator. She's a global force of sensual awakening and soulful leadership. With a background in international business and over 33 holistic certifications, Hani bridges the often divided walls of power, pleasure, and presence. From healing bulimia to helping leaders awaken the essential truth, she teaches us that true liberation lies not in doing more, but in feeling deeper. So, Hani, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure to have you here. So, Hani, what does sensual liberation really mean in a world that often, equates sensuality with shame or secrecy?
Sensual liberation is actually this dedication to liberation. Liberation means freedom, right? And sensual liberation is a way of dedicating yourself to freedom that is connected to you understanding inside your body the senses of which tell you what's truth and what you desire to create in the world, what you desire to create as value, and then being able to liberate yourself so that you can dedicate as much time to your creations, whether that is in the experiences that you're looking to create that is attuned and aligned and in consent with your value system, or if it's a impact that you want to create in the world. So fully embodying that creation with your senses, with your creativity, and with your desire is sensual liberation.
That's really a powerful perspective, Hani. I really appreciate that how you reference sensuality in a way that feels grounded and liberating at the same time. And it's refreshing to hear that kind of honesty in a world, that often misunderstands or silences those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now, when did you first realize this was the doorway to your own healing and leadership?
Um, I was definitely always interested in healing and first of all, we shared earlier that there was bulimia, right? Bulimia was a
Mm.
big part of the situation of how I got introduced to all of this work because I realized that I was actually much more able to um I was able to much more able to reach the bottom of it, not through Western medicine and not through a lot of the really amazing remedies from Chinese medicine too, and physical education, but it was really about understanding the inside of my body and the inside of what's happening and how it made me feel and the emotional aspect, the physical realm, the energetic realm that made me realize that, hey, you know what? Actually, aside from the external and the chemical components of my bodies, there's something larger that's guiding me. And so when I realized that our existence actually really needed acknowledgement. People have existential crisis when we don't acknowledge our existence and our purpose of our existence. And so when I realized that our existence actually needed acknowledgement, and also um, that my body was actually rebelling against me not living my existential desires, which is, our desires, then I realized that, oh man, like actually my body was creating a 15-year disease because I wasn't actually living my desire of what my existence wanted to do on this earth. So when I asked myself this question of, am I ready to let this disease go? If I could, um, like, would this disease go if I lived my actual desired existence? Then the answer was yes. And voice came through me and said yes. I was like, oh, am I ready to let this disease go? I said yes. The voice was speaking me. And then from that moment on, I knew that not only did I have to stop doing what I was doing at that time in my career, but I also needed to take this desire and run with it. And many times I was like studying with the Chi master at that time in 12, and I had been asking her, you know, what do I actually want to do with my life? And I knew I wanted to be an inspirational leader, but I didn't know what type. And so through the disease of those 15 years, when I collected all these different things and different modalities and different certifications and knowledge base on how to help other people heal that too, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so meaningful, so needed, and so important for people to hear our inner voice and then go for it, understand our desires. And then I realized that desires don't just stop in how we want to show up for life. Our desires are also inclusive of our deepest desires, and our deepest desires of who we want to love, how we want to love, what we want to do as we love, and what love even is, what kind of love we want to experience in our life. Like, what's love itself, you know? And that's part of our existence as well. And that's what brought me to sensuality. How do we love our bodies? How do I love the body from the inside? Right. And how do I love myself and give myself the compassion, the kindness, the emotional love, the spiritual love, the physical love, the intellectual love? Like, how can I do that from a way that is liberating, creating more freedom, more happiness, more joy, and not only for me but for all those around me? And so that's what brought me into understanding more about sensuality, and then realizing that not only does our own understanding of ourself needs to be coded in freedom for us to feel that sense of limitless play and limitless creation. But it also is a profound opportunity to learn about all of our limitations and all of our taboos and all of our ways we weigh ourselves down so that we block ourselves from our actual desires. And through that learning, everything opens up when you decide when I decided to look through it. And that's why I start teaching it, because sensual liberation is just one angle to have the greatest healing of your life.
Hmm. There's there's something sacred about the way you shared that, honey. I mean, those threshold moments shape us quietly but completely, and hearing yours feels like witnessing a truth being spoken into this room. And I think that's real, you owning that moment of recognition where healing and leadership met. That's indeed powerful, and it speaks volumes about who you are and how you show up.
Thanks.
You're warmly welcome. So now you have supported thousands across cultures. So what's the most, common block people carry around sexuality and leadership?
For sexuality is the idea of freedom, to really understand what freedom actually means, to make exploration and your desires to explore free, right? Be able to feel free and supported and loved in your exploration of who you are as a sexual being and as someone who can feel, right? Whether that is with your spouse, with your partner, with yourself. Um, this is, or with whatever your configuration is, this is something that is the biggest block. Most of us just live in this tiny little box of what we believe is our sexuality, and we don't follow that experience of every single moment is like visiting a new country that you've never visited before. So understanding that um our sexuality could be new and different, more layered and more nuanced every single time, that's completely different. That's one of the things. And what was the other question?
Mm-hmm. That cuts right to the core, the way you name that brings it into the light, no longer hidden, no longer. That's There's power in making the invisible visible. So, how can we begin to, reframe sensuality as a source of strength and not distraction?
So sensuality, like we shared, right? It is who you really are inside. It's who you want to be. Like when you show up every day in the morning, you wake up and you feel your hair on your face, you walk into the shower. That's all sensual, mindful living. Sensuality is, in a sense, the deepest form of mindfulness. You're feeling everything, you're observing everything. You're not attached to it. It doesn't drive you. It is simply a information input of what is here, and then being able to experience that and experience joy and experience, yeah, life itself through your senses is something that's super beautiful and super cool. What was your question again?
Sure, I would love to repeat it once more. I said that how can we, begin to reframe sensuality as a source of strength and not distraction?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's pretty much how I would describe it, to do it daily and from every single moment, even right now as you're breathing, right? Like feel the air particles go through your nostrils, go through your lungs, like your stomach expanding, and then leading down to the air underneath your stomach, and then almost having your hips expand, and then relaxing your knees, right? That's mindfulness. That's sensual mindfulness. So it's so strong to be able to understand this awareness. I had a client who was like so stuck in his mind because he did something that his brain was like, that's wrong, that's wrong. But him and his spouse was like so happy about this thing, but like his mind couldn't wrap it around because they explored some new adventure in their sexuality. And so he's like, my mind keeps thinking I should be upset and guilty and feel ashamed, but then we're both actually like like in our bodies feel fine. We feel really cool. We actually feel
Hmm.
very peaceful. And so the brains plays tricks, and but the body is has a lot of sensations that can tell you the truth of the body.
It's really powerful to see that, our most intimate energy can fuel our boldest ambitions. That's so true, what you shared. So, can you share how your work merges Taoist and Tantric traditions with modern coaching?
Yeah, so Taoist and tantric traditions work a lot with the breath, and we work a lot with the mindfulness that we just shared about the sensuality and being. And then for me, I do it with modern coaching. We have a Sensual Liberation program where we go into start describing these, giving vocabulary for sensuality and for the inside of our body itself, being aware of what that is and how can we use that to cultivate energy that we can then bring into our work, bring into our lives, and bring into these places that are just that's just more of us. Sensuality and sexuality is often misunderstood as feeling sexy or feeling wanting sex. However, what sensuality really is just feeling all of you and then being able to be more self-expressed, more of yourself while creating success in your world.
Hmm, that makes so much sense. I mean, like what you said, and that's going to surely be beneficial for all our listeners out there, Hani, I must say.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
hope that you guys all like figure are able to take something away and like integrate.
Yeah, and that's such a beautiful way to put it when sensuality is who we are, as you said, and mindfulness becomes the way we return to that truth. The traditions you draw from feel so alive in your work, and that really lands.
Thanks.
Oh, you're warmly welcome. Now, what's one daily practice, listeners can try to reconnect with their body's wisdom?
Your self-pleasure practice. Without wanting to make yourself go anywhere, you don't need to pressure yourself. Simply give yourself the love that you need for 1 minute. Sometimes it might be a self-kiss. You can kiss your hand. You can smell your hand, the back of your hand, the front of your hand. Now you want to stroke your hair like a mother strokes a child, or sometimes you want to hug yourself. Sometimes you just want to play with your chest. Give your love for 1 minute a day and feel your body. Feel your body, breathe it in, and then ask yourself, what is where do you want to channel this energy today? What do you want to accomplish? Maybe you want to get a to do. Maybe you want to relate with your loved one a little bit deeper. Maybe you want to just have a positive outlook today. So give yourself love first and then watch the love trickle out.
Mm-hmm. I love how doable that is, Hani. I mean, just 1 minute and yet so powerful, as you said. It really reminds us that connection doesn't have to be complicated. It just have to be intentional, right?
Hmm.
Yes, I agree with that. Now, from plant medicine to energy rituals, your journey has been, expansive. So, what's one moment that cracked you open for good?
I mean, I definitely mentioned that one right in the beginning, the one where I asked myself the question. And then a second one I would say is allowing my body to make decisions for me, with me. You know, my allowing, like, you usually have like a group of shareholders or a group of like board of directors, allowing my brain to be a part of the board of director, but allowing my heart to be the part of the board of directors, and then also my yoni. So my feelings, my sensations, my pleasure to be a part of it. And then allowing myself to make decisions from a place of unity of all of them. And allowing everybody to participate and giving me information for the decision. I think that's one of the most powerful ways that have really ensured expansive, limitless, potential driven decisions that are also fun and light and um, that have a potential to grow the most. It's not always, but it's always a journey that is interesting and in many ways very rewarding.
Hmm. I agree. That's tender and brave, and I can already feel that how deeply that experience reshaped you, and it's a gift that you shared it with us.
You're welcome.
Mhm. So, how did that moment, reshape how you define success now, personally and professionally?
Well, I think success is really about how aligned I feel and how deeply connected to myself I feel and how free I feel in my world. And so if I feel freedom to be happy, freedom to express, freedom to experience life in the way that I want to live, and like what we said earlier, what sensuality is, love in the way that I want to love, experience um, the world in the way that I want to, then I feel very successful. If I look at my life in every moment, if I'm not breaking down, I'm breaking through, and every time I break through, I get to another side of more freedom, which is super fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's noteworthy. And that redefinition feels so aligned. Like it's powerful to hear that how your version of success now comes from the inside out, not the outside in.
It's more enjoyable. I mean, a paper
Yes.
can't really take you that far. A title, a status. I mean, sometimes people love that. But for me, yeah, I like both.
Mhm. So, uh, your sensual liberation program sounds like surely a sacred rebellion. So, who is it for, and what kind of transformation do they walk away with?
It is for anyone who's ambitious, who wants to step out of their comfort zones and into their freedom zone. And it's also for you if you're looking to explore how to connect with your desire, whether that's for your sexual desire, your sensual desire, or your career desire, because this is all inner desire. Like, what is your path? What is your existence for? And then we teach you million, I want to say millions, but it's not. We teach you a ton of really powerful tools that you can use day to day from every angle. Energetic, that we deal with the spirituality, we deal with practical 1 minute breathwork practices. We deal with like 7, 8 communication structures that really instantaneously gets you into a space of vulnerability and beauty with your partners. And then we also teach you how to channel that into your leadership and your success into your work. And rituals and ways to integrate that into your love life, all kinds of stuff. It's very comprehensive and you get it's like a five-star hotel breakfast in terms of like the variety of things you get exposed to. And then you can always find what you like and keep eating that.
Mhm. I love how clear that is, Hani. I mean, like it's for the ones who feel the age calling them, the ones who know there's more available when they dare to step into it. And yes, that's such a beautiful container for those, who are ready to break patterns, drop masks, and lead from a deeper, more embodied place. That's the kind of transformation that stays with us, right?
Mhm.
Now, can leaders, really hold both structure and surrender? And what happens when they do so?
You hold the structure because you need to lead everybody in a direction, right? So you hold the structure, you hold the vision, you hold the desired outcome, you hold the direction. And then the surrender is the part that you let go. You empower your people, you let go and you let them show you their potential. You let them explore the edges. You let them feel that they have freedom to do what they need to do in order to get there. Sometimes you just have to pick the right people in the right spot. You can obviously share direction with them and influence them positively, and ultimately trust that the people who you decided to choose to be in those positions are going to take you further. And if they don't, then also have the ability to then create the structure again and then give them the freedom again and repeating that process.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's a powerful way to put it. I mean, like you said, you hold the structure, so surrender doesn't feel like chaos, but like trust, and it shifts the whole energy of leadership. I feel so. So, in your experience, what does it look like day to day for a leader to actually leave that balance?
It feels like having a really clear KPI, a really clear calendar of events that follow those goals that you're setting, and then also leaving room for creativity.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's noteworthy. So, Hani, you just reminded us that sensuality isn't intelligence; it's intelligence. And listeners, if you have been waiting for permission to be powerful and soft, structured and surrendered, this is it. Now step out of shame, step into your truth, and let your body lead you home. Until next time on Healing Horizons with Saima, stay curious, stay present, and most of all, stay embodied.